Lami and Ada had been inseparable since childhood. Growing up in a small village by the riverbank, their bond was unbreakable. From the moment they could walk, they did everything together. Fetching water from the stream, dancing at village festivals, and sharing secrets under the moonlight. The villagers admired their friendship, believing nothing could ever come between them. Lami was sharp and quick-witted, always coming up with clever ideas to solve problems. Ada, on the other hand, was known for her beauty and gentle heart. She had a warmth about her that made people feel at ease, and her laughter was infectious. While Lami was admired for her intelligence, Ada was loved for her kindness. Together, they complemented each other perfectly, making them one of the most well-known pairs in the village. As they grew older, their lives began to take different paths. While they still spent time together, things weren't quite the same. The shift became even more noticeable when King Obi, the young and respected ruler of the land, arrived at one of the village celebrations. The moment he saw Ada, he was captivated. Her grace and charm caught his attention, and soon after, he approached her family to ask for her hand in marriage. Lami was there through it all, smiling and supporting her best friend, but deep inside, something began to change. She wanted to be happy for Ada, yet every time she saw her dressed in royal robes, walking hand in hand with the king, or laughing with him, a strange feeling twisted inside her. At first she ignored it, but over time, she realized what it was. Jealousy. Ada's life changed overnight when King Obi chose her as his bride. The young and respected ruler of the land had first seen her during a village celebration, and from that moment he was captivated. His voice carried authority, but his eyes were filled with warmth, and when he approached Ada's family to ask for her hand in marriage, they knew he would be a good husband. The entire village rejoiced at the news. Ada, the girl with a kind heart, was going to be their queen. Lami watched from the sidelines, forcing a smile as Ada's new life unfolded before her. She told herself she was happy for her friend. After all, wasn't this a dream come true? Ada would live in the palace, surrounded by luxury, wearing the finest robes and jewelry. She would be loved not just by the villagers, but by the entire kingdom. But deep down, Lami felt something she had never experienced before, a sharp, aching envy. Every time she saw Ada walking beside the king, every time she heard the villagers whispering about how lucky she was, Lami's heart twisted. One day, Ada visited Lami in her small hut, unaware of the storm brewing inside her friend. "Lami, you must visit the palace more often," Ada said with a warm smile. "It feels empty without you." Lami forced a smile in return. "I'll try," she said, though she had no intention of doing so. Seeing Ada happy while she remained in the same small hut only made the bitterness grow stronger. She began avoiding Ada, claiming she was busy with work. But the truth was, she couldn't bear to see her best friend's happiness anymore. As the days passed, Lami's jealousy grew stronger. No matter how much she tried to ignore it, she couldn't shake the feeling of resentment toward Ada. The image of her best friend dressed in royal robes, laughing alongside King Obi, haunted her thoughts. It wasn't just that Ada had found happiness. It was that she had everything Lami secretly wished for. One night as Lami lay in her small hut, staring at the ceiling, a dark thought crept into her mind. "Why should Ada have everything?" she whispered to herself. "If she were gone, I could take her place." The thought startled her at first, but it refused to leave. Instead, it grew stronger, twisting inside her like a poisonous vine. Then, she remembered the stories the elders used to tell, the stories about the old woman who lived deep in the forest. It was said that she had powerful magic, capable of granting wishes for those willing to pay the price. Lami didn't care about the cost. She had already lost too much watching Ada live the life she wanted. Before the sun rose the next morning, Lami set out for the forest. The trees were thick, their branches casting eerie shadows over the narrow path. Strange noises surrounded her, the hoot of an owl, the rustling of leaves, the distant growl of an unseen animal. But she pressed on, determined to find the old woman. After hours of walking, she finally spotted a small hut made of sticks and leaves. Smoke curled from the chimney, and a strange, bitter smell filled the air. Sitting outside, stirring a bubbling green liquid, was the old woman. Her tangled hair framed a face filled with knowing. "What brings you here, child?" she asked, her sharp eyes piercing into Lami's soul. Lami hesitated for a moment, but the jealousy burning inside her gave her courage. She stepped closer to the old woman, her hands clenched into fists. "I want my friend gone," she said, her voice steady despite the pounding of her heart. "I want to take her place as queen." The old woman raised an eyebrow, studying Lami carefully. "That is a dark wish," she said, stirring her bubbling potion. "Are you ready for the consequences?" Lami didn't flinch. Yes, she said without hesitation. I'll do whatever it takes. The old woman smiled, revealing crooked yellow teeth. She reached into her hut and pulled out a small glass bottle filled with a shimmering green liquid. Give this to your friend, she said. It will turn her into something harmless, something no one will ever think about again. Lami's fingers trembled as she took the bottle. What will it turn her into, she asked, her voice hushed with excitement. The old woman's smile widened. A fish, she said simply. She will live in the river, far from the palace. No one will know. Lami clutched the bottle tightly and rushed back to the village. She hid it in her hut, waiting for the perfect moment. A few days later, Ada visited her, just as she had before. I made something special for you, Lami said, handing Ada a wooden cup filled with the green liquid. It's a drink to give you strength and keep you happy. Ada, trusting as ever, smiled warmly. Thank you, Lami, you're such a good friend. She drank without hesitation. The change was instant. Before Lami's eyes, Ada's body shrank, her arms disappeared, and her legs melted into a long, scaly tail. In seconds, she was no longer a woman. She was a small, golden fish. Lami stared at the golden fish wriggling in her hands, her heart pounding. It had worked. Ada was gone. A slow, triumphant smile spread across her face as she whispered, Goodbye, Ada. Without hesitation, she carried the fish to the river and tossed it into the water. The small creature flailed for a moment before disappearing beneath the surface. Lami exhaled, feeling a weight lift off her shoulders. Now, King Obi would have no choice but to forget about Ada, and soon she would take her place. Days passed, and the palace was filled with confusion. Ada had vanished without a trace. The servants whispered among themselves, and the villagers speculated about what could have happened. Some believed she had run away, while others suspected something far worse. King Obi, however, refused to accept her disappearance. He sent search parties across the kingdom, desperate to find his beloved queen, but no matter how hard they looked, there was no sign of her. Each night, when he finally managed to sleep, dreams haunted him. In these dreams, he saw Ada standing by the riverbank, her face filled with sorrow. Her voice echoed in his ears, calling his name. Obi, I am here. I need your help. The dreams grew more vivid with each passing night, and soon the king became convinced they were more than just dreams. They were messages. Ada was trying to reach him. Meanwhile, Lami carried on as if nothing had happened. She visited the palace often, pretending to console the grieving king. My king, she said sweetly, I know you miss Ada, but life must go on. The kingdom needs a strong leader. I can help you. But no matter how kind or attentive she pretended to be, Obi's heart remained closed to her. As the days turned into weeks, Lami grew frustrated. No matter how much she tried, King Obi remained distant. He still mourned Ada, and despite Lami's efforts to comfort him, his heart seemed locked away. Meanwhile, far from the palace, a poor widow named Na carried on with her daily struggles. Life had never been easy for her and her daughter, Kasi. Every day was a fight to survive, with barely enough food to get by. But Na never lost faith. One morning, as the sun rose over the village, Na walked to the river with a clay pot balanced on her head. She bent down to scoop water, whispering a quiet prayer. God, please provide for us. Even just one blessing will change everything. She filled her pot, placed it carefully on her head, and made her way home. But when she arrived and set the pot down, something unexpected happened. As she tilted the pot to pour the water into a basin, a golden fish slipped out and landed gently on the edge. Naya gasped, staring in disbelief. Its shimmering scales gleamed under the morning light, unlike any fish she had ever seen. She knelt down, her hands trembling. Is this real? She whispered. She had heard stories of a legendary golden fish said to appear only once every 10 years. It was believed to bring fortune to whoever caught it. Na could barely believe her eyes. The golden fish shimmered in the dim light, its scales reflecting shades of gold and amber. Kasi ran to her mother's side, staring at the creature in awe. Mama, she whispered, this fish, it's special. It's just like the stories. Na's heart raced with excitement. The legend spoke of a golden fish that appeared once every 10 years, a rare treasure that could make someone rich beyond their wildest dreams. She gently lifted it and placed it in a large clay bowl filled with fresh water. If we sell this fish, Kasi, we will never have to struggle again, Na said, her voice trembling with hope. This could change everything. Kasi's face lit up with joy. Really, Mama? We could buy food, clothes, maybe even a big house? Na smiled, nodding. Yes, my child, this is a blessing. That night, as Na prepared supper, Kasi sat beside the fish, watching it closely. Something about it felt different. Unlike other fish, it didn't thrash or panic. Instead, it moved gracefully, its golden body gliding through the water as if it understood everything happening around it. Cassie leaned closer and whispered, "You're so beautiful. It's almost like you understand me." For a moment, she thought she saw its mouth move. She blinked, shaking the thought away. "It's just a fish," she told herself, but deep down, a strange feeling crept into her heart. Later that night, as she lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the fish. Something wasn't right. If this fish is really special, then why does it look so sad? Cassie leaned closer and whispered, "You're so beautiful. It's almost like you understand me." For a moment, she thought she saw its mouth move. She blinked, shaking the thought away. "It's just a fish," she told herself. But deep down, a strange feeling crept into her heart. Later that night, as she lay in bed, she couldn't stop thinking about the fish. Something wasn't right. If this fish is really special, then why does it look so sad? Cassie tossed and turned all night, unable to shake the strange feeling in her chest. She kept thinking about the golden fish, the way it moved, the way its eyes seemed almost human. Finally, unable to ignore her instincts, she lit a small lamp and tiptoed toward the bowl where the fish rested. She knelt beside it, her heart pounding. "If you're not just a fish," she whispered, "give me a sign." For a moment, nothing happened. Then suddenly, the water in the bowl began to ripple, though there was no wind, no movement. Casey's breath hitched. She leaned in closer, barely daring to believe what she was seeing. Then, a soft voice, barely louder than a whisper, filled the air. "Help me," Cassie gasped, nearly knocking over the bowl. She scrambled back, her eyes wide. Who said that?" she stammered, staring at the fish. "I am Ada," the voice replied. "I was cursed, turned into this form by someone I trusted. Please, don't let your mother sell me. I need your help to become human again." Cassie's hands trembled as she gripped the edge of the bowl. 100 thoughts rushed through her mind, but one thing was clear. This wasn't just a fish. Just then, a noise came from the other room. Cassie's mother stirred in her sleep, and panic shot through the girl's veins. Quickly, she dimmed the lamp and hurried back to bed, her heart still racing. She barely slept, the voice of the fish echoing in her head. "I am Ada. Please. Don't let your mother sell me." Morning was coming, and Cassie had to decide what to do. The next morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Na was already awake, humming happily as she prepared for the trip to the market. She had carefully placed the golden fish in a smaller bowl, tying a cloth over it to keep it hidden. "Cassie, wake up!" Na called cheerfully. "Today is the day our lives change forever." Cassie sat up slowly, her heart heavy. She wanted to tell her mother the truth, but how could she explain that the fish wasn't just a rare creature, but a cursed woman? Would her mother even believe her? "I'm coming, Mama," she said quietly, forcing herself to move. As they made their way to the market, Cassie's anxiety grew with every step. The village was already bustling with people, and as soon as they arrived, word spread quickly. Na had caught the legendary golden fish. A crowd gathered around them, eager to see the rare creature. Merchants and wealthy villagers craned their necks, their eyes gleaming with greed. "What do you have there, Na?" one merchant asked, his voice thick with curiosity. With a proud smile, Na removed the cloth, revealing the golden fish. Gasps filled the air. "It's the golden fish," someone shouted. "I've only heard of it in stories." The bidding started immediately. "I'll pay 50 gold coins," one man yelled. 60, another countered. 70. The numbers climbed higher and higher, and Na's heart raced with excitement. She was finally going to escape poverty. But as the shouts grew louder, Cassie clenched her fists. She couldn't stay silent anymore. "Mama, wait," she said softly. Na frowned. "What is it, Cassie?" Cassie swallowed hard, then took a deep breath. "We can't sell the fish," she said, her voice trembling. "She's not just a fish. She's a human." The marketplace fell silent. For a moment, all anyone could hear was the distant chatter of villagers and the rustling of the wind. Then, a merchant scoffed. "A human?" he laughed. "The girl is talking nonsense." Murmurs spread through the crowd, some people chuckling while others shook their heads in disbelief. But Cassie stood her ground. "Mama," she pleaded, her voice shaking, "I know it sounds crazy, but I swear it's true. The fish spoke to me. Her name is Ada. She was cursed. If we sell her, we'll be selling a person." Na turned to her daughter, her excitement fading into concern. "Cassie," she whispered, "do you know what you're saying? We could be rich. This is our chance." "But at what cost?" Cassie's eyes filled with desperation. "Would you sell a person just for money?" Na's hands trembled as she looked down at the golden fish. Its shimmering scales gleamed under the morning sun, but now she saw something different. Its eyes, they weren't like an ordinary fish's. They looked almost human. The merchants grew impatient. "Enough of this foolishness," one of them snapped. "Name your price, woman." Na hesitated. Casey's words rang in her ears. Finally, she took a deep breath, straightened her back, and clutched the bowl to her chest. "I'm sorry," she said firmly. "This fish is not for sale." The crowd erupted in outrage. "You're throwing away your fortune," a merchant shouted. "Don't be a fool," another hissed. But Na held her ground. Grabbing Casey's hand, she turned and walked away, ignoring the angry protests behind her. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. As Na and Cassie hurried away from the market, angry voices trailed behind them. The merchants had been furious, but Na knew she had made the right choice. Gold could buy food and comfort, but it could never replace the weight of a guilty conscience. They returned home, knowing danger was coming. Greedy men did not give up easily. That night, as the village slept, one of the merchants, one who had once been helped by Na in his time of need, came knocking on her door. "You must leave," he warned in a hushed voice. "They plan to steal the fish. If you resist, they may harm you." Fear struck Na's heart, but she didn't hesitate. Gathering only what they could carry, she and Cassie took the fish and fled into the night. The forest was dark, the path uncertain, but Na trusted her instincts. They had done the right thing, and the gods would guide them. In real life, greed often drives people to cruelty. Just like Lami, who let jealousy consume her, or the merchants who saw only profit, people can lose themselves chasing what they believe will bring happiness. But true wealth isn't gold, it's kindness, integrity, and the courage to do what is right, even when it's hard. Cassie's choice to listen to her heart saved Ada's life. It reminds us that sometimes doing the right thing means standing alone against a crowd. It means protecting those who cannot protect themselves, even when the world tells you to look the other way. In the end, Ada was saved. The truth came to light, and those who had acted with goodness were rewarded. Not with gold, but with something far greater: peace, love, and a life without regret.